Good morning, this is Jack from Charting Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Friday, the 27th of March. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingmarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, great. Let's have a look at ES, where we have given back most of the, now practically all of the rally from the low last Friday, and I am wondering about a possible level bottom setup, although for that to play out, we might actually need some good news. Now, as I've been saying all week, we've not actually really had any good news this week. We've seen talk about good news, and we've seen apparent good news, but none of it actually is amounted to anything. It's just more flooding of the zone from the White House. Where we are is that the war is ongoing. It's very hard to see a decent way out. And I think 10,000 more troops are US troops are now going to the Middle East, which is suggesting escalation. Although it does look as though that escalation might be after Easter. Trump was talking about basically not hitting any, not a ceasefire, but not hitting any Iranian civilian power infrastructure until the April 6th. And I'm hoping that we can see some sort of a rally on equities into that, because it would just be better on a technical setup for the next move down, which in the absence of any good news is what I'm thinking is next likely to be the big move that is coming next. All right, looking at ES, almost retesting the lows, no current positive divergence, tiny bit of positive divergence on NQ, but we might lose it. Do we have any positive divergence on ES? God, that would be marginal. RTY, no current divergence. This had actually done the best, and you can see it's outperforming both ES and NQ here. Looking at YM, still outperforming ES and NQ as well. No current divergence. DAX, no divergence, and this was looking as though it might be an IHS forming. That's not really looking the case anymore today. Same on ESTX and Nikkei. We have, again, outperforming ES and NDX here, but on the way back down, very possibly to a retest of the low. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. And, right, in terms of the daily middle band, that's target for a rally here, but we've only actually made it on IWM. We haven't got anything really on the others, where we haven't really got close to this at all. But what I would say is, if we do see a full retest of this low, which we might well, then that would give us a possible daily RSI 5 buy signal growing. We don't have anything on the hourly charts. We don't have anything. No, we've got a bit of positive divergence on the 15-minute chart, so possibly that might be good for a rally if the market can find anything to rally on. All right, looking at Qs, we've got a possible daily RSI 5 buy signal brewing as well. The failure was at the 200 DMA, as it was on SPX, which is the first significant resistance trend line. Is this a setup where we could go directly down from here? Yeah, it is. So that would look entirely credible. I'll be doing I'm planning to do a post on SPX and the others later today, talking about how this would look with or without the rally into Easter. So I'll come back to you on that. But if we were to see this rally, i.e. if there was actually some real good news today, then we would have a fixed buy signal on the daily RSI 5 for both Dia and IWM, and possible ones brewing potentially on both SPX and on the Qs. So we shall see. All right, looking at the hourly charts and 15-minute charts on the Qs, nothing on the hourly. 15-minute, we've got some positive divergence. Looking at Dia, we didn't have a clear fail at the backtest of the 200 DMA, but that's the level at which this is failing so far. We do have an daily RSI 5 buy signal fixed. In the event of big offense, this is the larvals, something which is larvals get run over in a strong downtrend. So I'm not betting the farm on that one. It's on the hourly chart, we've still got an RSI 14 buy signal, which is fixed, and on the 15-minute chart, we do have some positive divergence here at the close yesterday. All right, looking at IWM, we have on the daily chart Daily chart, we've got an RSI 5 buy signal fixed. We did actually make it up to the daily middle band here. I was concerned about that because I was thinking if we had a rally which went higher, this could fail the head and shoulders, which is a nice one. And there's already broken down with a target in the 216 area. So if it failed here, that definitely wouldn't happen, and we still have that pattern. And we've also got the big double top, which is broken down on the Qs, of course. Looking at the hourly chart, nothing to see. 15-minute chart, we do have a tiny bit of positive divergence here, but it's nothing really worth the mention. On the 15-minute RSI 14, I've got a possible weak buy signal brewing. Looking at DAX, we lost the positive divergence there at the lows last week. So been seeing a modest rally here. Hasn't got close to the daily middle band, and we're not really close to the daily middle band either, although we had a very obvious target here as also a back test of broken support. But I'm thinking at the moment I'm not seeing much to suggest that we aren't going to see this continue down directly. We'll see whether that's right. All right, looking at DX, the flag is starting to break up. I did a big post on this morning. Looking at the bigger picture on the US dollar. I was looking at this flag at the end of that post and commenting that we do have a daily RSI 5 sell signal fix. They do have a very good track record, and I am wondering whether we might see some more downside and consolidation to make that target before starting another leg up. On the other hand, in the event that we see a big move down on the market due to, the war, then I would expect the dollar to move up with that. So we'll see. In terms of the other currency pairs, they're looking a bit more interesting this morning. This looks like a flag which is testing support. This looks like a flag which is breaking down towards a retest of that low. So USD JPY, we've got a potential double top here, but we could just see continuation higher. I do have a big target in the 162 area, which I've mentioned a few times. USD CAD, obviously, we had this weird bear flag, which has broken up now. Small 60-minute sell signal fixed. Australian dollar, this isn't actually a big part of the US dollar index, but it's a good indicator in terms of direction. We've got a nice looking head and shoulders here, which is broke down yesterday with a target in the 0.663 area. NZ, not really seeing an awful lot here. All right, great. So let's have a look at bonds. Now, bonds, I'm going to be writing another post on bonds in the next few days, but basically the thrust and what I've been talking about in the bigger picture for a while is that we're likely to go lower. And this is a little bear flag breaking down, heading back into a retest of those. If equities are going to go down and the dollar is going to go up, what we should expect in terms of what we've been seeing so far since the war started is that bonds will go down, and that's what I'd be expecting. ZN, possible double bottom forming here, and we've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed, which hasn't made target yet, but this could just continue down as well. Looking at oil, we're breaking over declining resistance here on CL, and we had a smaller flag here on Brent, which has broken up. We're getting back up towards the highs here. So I think there's obviously a lot of concern about the war and that it's going to escalate. And I think that concern is very well founded. We're getting pretty close to a retest of the highs here on heating oil, on RBOB, getting pretty close to a retest of the highs. NG, we're actually seeing a bit of a bounce on NG as well. And the week 60-minute bicycle has reached possible near miss target. I'm skeptical as this hasn't really had much impact at all on the oil, the Iran war on NG prices. I'm a bit skeptical about that starting now. Looking at GC, I'm thinking we might be making a low here. We've been seeing this fall as oil's been rising and equities have been falling, but I think that was actually just the fact we were likely making an overall bull flag on gold. I'm thinking if we see another big leg down on equities, that we may well see the precious metals go up. I've got nice flags on GC and SI. And we've got a possible short-term IHS forming on SI. Palladium could be forming a little double bottom, but we need to go a little lower first. Possible IHS forming here on platinum, but it's not aging like a fine wine. This would need to break up really today if it's going to. HG, possible IHS forming here, but it's not pretty. If equities go down, I would expect this to join them on the way down. This is not a precious metal. All right, looking at KC. And KC, still not sure what's happening here. We will see how this goes. but I'm keeping an open mind. We don't have any really particularly directional patterns forming that could give us an indication of what's coming next. SB, this is retested the high. This could be a little double top, and we are on a 60-minute sell signal. CC, this looks like a move up and a bull flag forming from there, setting up a retest of this high just under 3,500, and I think we may well see that. Looking at the CT chart, we've got a little we have the bull flag here that's broken up and it's retested the high. This could be a double top here, although I wouldn't be at all surprised to see this continue breaking upwards. I've got another big post on the big bullish setups that you can't see on these charts on cotton, wheat, and corn that I'm going to be doing probably ideally on Monday or Tuesday. Right, looking at lumber, we saw a breakdown from this rally. We could be just resuming the overall downtrend. So if we see this just fold downwards back towards this low, I wouldn't be at all surprised. Wheat, this looks like a bullish consolidation. Corn, this looks like a bullish consolidation. Soy, we've got a double top which is broken down here. We've got looks like a bear flag here. I'd quite like to see that make target, form an overall bull flag from this high here and then continue higher, but we'll see how that goes. This looked like a similar setup yesterday, but this no longer looks like a bear flag forming here. This looks as though it's heading back up into a retest this high here in the 70 area. Looking at live cattle, this looks like a bull flag which has broken up towards a retest of this high. HE is breaking up slightly over this declining resistance. I think this is an ABC flag and this may well be complete. So we'll see whether we can get some traction to the upside. We do have a weak 60-minute buy signal that's fixed. All right, great. In that case, I think let's have a look at questions. We have no questions. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care. I'll catch you guys again on Monday. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. All right, cheers.